Quick trigger warning on this video. It is on the topic of essays, so if that is something that triggers you, please go ahead and skip over it. But if not, here we go. So a few days ago, I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across this video from Daniel speaking on how amazing Anthony Cuts is and all the fantastic hairstyles that he has done so many years ago and how they have been so great. And me seeing that video triggered the hell out of me. Okay, I have avoided seeing him on my feed for so long, and seeing him being praised really triggered me. So not only do I know him as this amazing hairstylist, but I also know him as a sexual assaulter because he sexually assaulted me in May of 2017 when I was 21 years old in Chicago in his hotel room. Even though it has been many years ago that this happened, I don't think I am fully ready to really speak on it. But because of seeing that video and me not being able to control my emotion at that moment, I left a comment under that video saying, "Great hairstylist and a predator." And I kind of just left it as that, and I see the comments of people basically saying that I'm lying, or why would I say something like that and not have any concrete follow-up back, like talking about what exactly happened. And I completely get that, especially in the world that we are in now with false accusation. I see why people will question me. So I guess today, even though I don't think I was fully ready to speak on it, but since I let my emotion allow me to crack the can open, I might as well just open it all the way and talk about my incident that happened in 2017. In 2017, I was asked to join a hair wig tour alongside Anthony and Jazz. And around that time was when my videos really started to pick up on YouTube, and people kind of knew my story about being a burn survivor, being bald. So they did ask me to be a part of it. At first I was kind of like, what would I add to it, because I'm not a hairstylist. I'm not that great at doing wigs. Yes, I do my wigs. So being alongside Jazz and Anthony, I was a little bit intimidated, like what is going to be my role? But they told me I would just pretty much be a host, and I guess also having my name on the tour was kind of like a nice way to promote as well. Excuse me. And I was so excited for this opportunity because I'm just becoming a content creator and having the opportunity to travel the United States and also to meet amazing creators like Anthony and Jazz. That was enough for me. Even though it wasn't paying that much, I was just like, absolutely, let's do it, sign me up. So I was super excited. So the first city I believe that we went to was Nashville, and that went amazing, and I met Anthony and Jazz on that trip, and yeah, it was just great. And I feel like Jazz was kind of like a big sister to me because she's been in the industry a bit longer than me, and she was a bit older than me. And Anthony, honestly, I've always seen his video, loved his video, but I always just thought like, this is, yeah, I probably shouldn't have assumed this, but I truly thought that Anthony was a gay man. So I never felt any like weird, I don't know how to say, like any weird feeling towards him, because I just thought, you know, maybe he's gay, he's just not out. That means I let my guards down. When we were in Nashville, I believe we probably, you know, we talked about it a lot, and one of those topics was probably on weed. And I remember saying like, yeah, I smoked weed before, but I never got high. Like, I don't think I know how to do it. And I remember Anthony saying like, oh, don't worry, like I would teach you, blase blase. Cool. And I guess the next tour was either skipped, but then the next one was in Chicago, and this was in May. On this Chicago tour, Jazz did not stay in the hotel with us because she was actually based in Chicago, I believe, at that time. So she was home, and we did plan on going out the night that we came in. So this time I was sharing hotel room with the lady's daughter that is basically organizing the wig tour. And Anthony was like across our room. But anyway, so that night we planned on going out together, 3 of us. I'm not exactly sure, like I don't remember if we gave Jazz the wrong address of the hotel that we were staying at, or we just didn't calculate how far the club that we wanted to go to was at. But it came down to us not going to the club. And so when we decided that we're not going to the club, Anthony asked me if I wanted to come into his hotel room to smoke. And I was like, yeah, of course. Again, I did not feel any sense of like threat from him that he could do anything to me. And this is a well-known person. And around that time, me thinking a well-known person would not do anything to like jeopardize, you know, their career. And at the same time too, I'm thinking this is a gay man, like he wouldn't do anything to me. At least that's what I was thinking at that time. So I confidently went into his room with him and we sparked. And I remember taking about like maybe 3 puffs, and then in a few minutes I started getting high. And while I was like high, I noticed that I started laughing, and this is my first time like feeling the effect of weed. Okay, so I'm cracking up, I'm laughing. Now my body is like moving, I'm dancing because there was a sound coming from the TV, and I was just like dancing to it. I don't know why. I could hear him say like, you need to come sit down. Like he's laughing at me. He was like, you need to sit, you need to sit. And he ended up like pulling my hand to come and sit next to him on the couch. You know, and I thought that was fine at the moment until I started kind of feeling a bit uncomfortable with the way that he was like very, very close to me and kind of touching me. Like it was just a bit weird, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Again, I'm not talking, I'm not saying any word, I'm just kind of like there. Almost felt like I have no control of my body or even my mouth to open. And then few moments later, he had pulled me up and he was like, come on, and he was like dragging me into the bed. And I can still see that room to this day. Like I don't remember the color, but kind of like the setup of the room. Like when you walk in, the couch is right here, the bathroom is a bit right here, and then right there is where the bedroom is. So he basically dragged me to the bedroom, and he had me like my head on the bed like so I wasn't even on the bed. It was just kind of like my head and the top part of my body just bent over the bed. And the next thing I know, he had pulled my underwear down. And I would say this, like, even though I hate this, that I have to go through this every single month, which is my period, but that day my period saved me from being art. I truly believe that. And I guess when he noticed that I was on my period, thank goodness, that disgusted him, and he was like, oh, you're on your period, pull your pants up. And I was just still laying there, like I was not moving. I can hear him, I can feel the things that he's doing, but I just could not really move and could not say anything. But I guess he like ended up like pulling my pants and basically putting me out of the room. Was like, go to your room. And so I remember like walking back into the room, and I went into the bathroom, and I just sat there like I'm trying to look at myself in the mirror again. I'm very dazed and confused about what just happened, but I kept telling myself, try to remember. Like I knew that I was high, but I was like, try to remember what happened. Try to remember what happened, because I don't know if I wake up the next day if I am going to remember that this happened to me. So yes, thank goodness I did not get R that night. But definitely sexually assaulted by someone that I didn't feel threatened by at all, and I did not see it coming. And so yeah, I was very confused the next day. I didn't know what to do, who to tell. When we got to the class, I just could not even look at him in the face. I did not want to be in the same room. My body was literally shaking. And most of the time I was just sitting there, and I'm telling myself, there is no way, even though I signed a contract, there was no way that I am going to continue with this tour, because we had like maybe 4 or 5 more cities to do. There was no way that I can continue this tour. Like, seeing how I am feeling today, not being able to just even look up and being so afraid, I don't think I can be in the same room as this man. And I also didn't know like if I should report it, because I'm confused. Like, okay, yes, like he didn't arm me, even though I was sexually assaulted, but I also felt like I didn't fight back. I didn't say no, but I also didn't say yes. I couldn't consent to however way that I was being touched, filled on, and having my underwear pulled down. What case do I have? Like, if I didn't say no, maybe to him that meant that I wanted that to happen to me. So I was very afraid.